Can you believe that in a few months' time it'll be 10 years since Sonic celebrated his 20th anniversary? During the 20th anniversary celebrations, lots of different companies made 20th anniversary merchandise. Some of this was highly publicised, and some of it, not so much. So as a result, there's a lot of 20th anniversary Sonic merch that hasn't really made it into the popular consciousness. And I know what you're thinking, this is all very well, but I was promised 30th anniversary merch. Well, yes, we'll get to that in a second. I just have to paint a bit of a background to this particular item. And one such item, which saw release in France during the 20th celebrations, which didn't get much attention, was this set of Fivs, or Thieves, tiny little figures. Some of you might be thinking, what are these little figures whose name you can't pronounce properly? Well, they mainly seem to be popular in France, but in a nutshell, they're small decorative figures which are often put on the top of cakes, or in some cases, actually baked into the cake as a surprise. Think something along the lines of a Kinder Egg, but with a huge cake. And for Sonic's 20th anniversary, one French company actually made a set of Sonic the Hedgehog themed Fevs. These had so little fanfare at the time that most fans didn't even realise that this was a thing until about a year after the 20th anniversary, which is a shame because this was the first company to make merchandise based on characters such as Rouge. The now closed Sega France did apparently promote these 20th anniversary figures, but it took a full year of release before fans worldwide noticed them. Even today, most fans don't actually know that this figure set actually exists. In fact, I'm one of the handful of fans out there that actually has a complete set of these figures, so I'd consider myself to be quite lucky to be one of only a handful of people out there to actually have the complete set of 20th anniversary figures from this company. So what does that have to do with today's item? Well, nearly 10 years on, it seems that the same company has produced a new set of Fiv figures for Sonic's 30th anniversary. And my goodness, these are some very special and very unique figures. Produced by Alcara and sold by Faber Foley, they're listed as being sold for 2021 for Sonic's 30th anniversary. But it seems that they've jumped the gun and released them a little bit early. Whoops. So I snapped up a set of the figures and I have to say, I really like what they've done. In terms of packaging, there isn't any. As with all the figures that this company produced, they use their own packaging to safely seal each figure in its own bubble-like compartment. And honestly, I'm okay with that. These figures are so small, you'd probably want to get something specific to display them in anyway, and an outer box for something like this would be a bit of a waste of space and resources. So let's take a closer look at each one of these figures. There's 20 figures in total and they come in two designs. You have 17 standing figures and 3 figures which you have to lay down. And you've probably noticed already, what is going on with these designs? Well, that's why I said earlier that I really like what they've done. Believe it or not, these designs are actually based off official Sega artwork and designs, but they're rarely used by Sega, and they're so niche that larger companies like Jakks Pacific don't normally base their products on these niche designs. It's too much of a risk. In fact, the artwork is so rare that most of the time when I'm referring to it in this video, I'll have to refer to an old official style guide from 2016, which unfortunately we only have a few very low quality thumbnails for. So let's take a closer look at the figures and hopefully I can convince you that they're some of the most awesome figures that we've had for a long time. And we start with Ghost Sonic. This is great. We have a Halloween themed Sonic wearing a ghost costume, carrying a jack-o'-lantern inspired bag that's full of treats. Look at the detail on it. Aside from the detail of the basket itself, Sonic has a small red tie from the cloak around his neck, and his shoes even have both the stripe and the buckle on them. It's hard to see, but it's there. And if you don't know why this is impressive, the smaller the figure, the harder it is to get the finer details on it. And if you want an idea for scale, it's about the size of a small coin. So like I said a few moments ago, this is actually based on rare official artwork, and this one in particular was actually used on a Halloween themed t-shirt that was released a few years back. It's crazy to think that we now have actual physical merch based on this artwork because, like I said in that Halloween merchandise review video, these designs are really good and they're just crying out to be turned into small physical merchandise. So let's move on to another figure. Hey, it's Christmas Sonic! So this figure, along with a few others in this set, is the reason why I think these got released a little early. Quite a few figures in this set are actually Christmas themed. How is this Christmas themed? Well, if you look very closely, you can see that Sonic is holding a small Christmas present, and I like the fact he's waving his finger as if he's really excited to get a gift. It really does elevate the feel of this figure. And if you actually turn the figure around, you can see that they've included a tiny little tail. Oh, he's so cute. But let's move on to another seasonal figure. It's Sliding Sonic. So this looks very similar to the last figure. We've got Sonic sat down with his hands in the air, but given how that base is a strange blue colour and he's wearing a scarf, it looks like he's sliding on a frozen lake. You can easily imagine Sonic running and sliding onto the ice as if he's having the time of his life. They've really captured that sense of joy about him. It's a wonderful little figure. And up next is a sporting themed figure. Football Sonic, or Soccer Sonic as some of you call him. This is another amazing figure. It's very rare that we get merchandise of Sonic wearing clothing. Here we have Sonic in a football kit, ready to kick a ball. It's based on this artwork from the 2016 Style Guide, and this was also modified into a t-shirt from 2019. A very unique figure from this set. So up next is arguably the most boring figure in the set, because it's also the safest. It's Classic Sonic. Just Classic Sonic doing the finger wag pose. Oh, don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad about it. It's still highly detailed and a very good quality figure. But when you compare it to what we've seen so far, and also what's coming up in this video, it just looks so plain and boring. Especially when the next figure in this set is Cycling Sonic. And if you thought that Sonic wearing clothing was a rare sight, how about this? Sonic using a vehicle that isn't a car. This is such an awesome little figure. Sonic on or with a bicycle isn't that unusual. There's a famous piece of artwork that depicts Sonic on a bike. In fact, I have a pin badge of it here. This particular pose does seem familiar. I'm sure it has been released as official artwork recently, but I just can't find another example of it. But again, I have to really praise the detail on the figure. The bike looks great, and you can even make out Sonic holding the handlebars. And the fact he's cycling with a raised fist makes it look like he's having loads of fun. Unfortunately, the face is a little bit derpy. It's slightly off model, so it has a very odd look, but it's still a great inclusion into this set. Almost as great as this figure. Now this is a figure. Look at that! It's time for Count Sonic! Or Dracula Sonic as I call him. I love everything about this figure. It's crazy how I said in my last video, please make merch of the Halloween costume designs, and then a day later, this gets released. But look at the detail on it. The cloak tie around Sonic's neck, the fact they've designed the cloak so it looks like it's moving in the wind. Sonic has such a wonderful expression on his face. It really looks like he's enjoying his Halloween costume. So far, this figure has to be tied for the best figure in the set, along with the Ghost Sonic. It's crazy to think that the best figures so far are the Halloween-themed ones. But now, we need to relax. It's Sonic sat on a rock, waving. I've got nothing else for you, that's literally what it is. Just Sonic, sat on a rock, taking things easy. Unlike this figure. So this is Sonic on a snowboard, and you might be thinking,
watch out! You're gonna crash! Ah!
Oh god, he's going to crash! Well, that's what I initially thought too, but when I checked the original artwork that this is based on, the artwork shows that he's actually pulling a trick. But with this figure, due to the way it's turned out, it actually looks like he's falling off the snowboard and having a nasty accident. And I don't mind that one bit. I think it's funny. It's rare that we get imagery of Sonic failing at something, so I like this even though it hasn't turned out as it was supposed to. Unlike this figure, which turned out exactly as it was supposed to. Yes, that's right, this set has a Supersonic figure, and whilst it looks cool, I think that's because the design of Supersonic looks cool, so anything Supersonic related has a sense of awe about it. But when you compare this figure to the other figures in the set, it has the same problem as that standard classic Sonic figure. It just looks so plain compared to virtually every other figure in the set. Based on everything that's been shown so far, the other figures in the set are just so much more interesting to look at, such as this one. Hockey Sonic. Another very unique design. This time we have Sonic in hockey attire, complete with jersey, shorts, gloves, and a hockey stick. And this alone is a really cool and unique design, but if you look closer at Sonic's head, he's actually wearing what looks like a Sonic-themed sweatband. Just look at that thing. It wraps right around his head and covers several of his spikes. So I'm going to show you the next figure now, and take a guess first at what Sonic is doing. So if you're not 100% sure as to what Sonic's actually doing in this figure, neither was I. I couldn't decide if he was just doing one-handed push-ups or if he was just showing off with this pose, but take a look at his shoes. Do you see that silver line? Those are ice skates. Yeah, this is actually Sonic ice skating, specifically speed skating. And the pose that Sonic's actually doing here is when speed skaters go round a corner on the course, they put their hands down to help stabilize the tight turn. And that's what this figure is depicting. How do I know for sure? Well, I found the artwork that it's based on. It's definitely what that figure is doing. Only for extra liberties, they made his tail wave in the wind as he takes the turn. Oh. And speaking of sports on snow and ice, what's going on with this one? We have a blue surface, so it's either on ice or water, and Sonic is holding on to something. Still can't tell what it is? That's Sonic on a sledge. Yeah, this figure depicts Sonic riding a sledge over snow or ice. The yellow section that you can see on Sonic is actually part of a scarf, but it doesn't come across too well. And yes, this figure is also based on some official artwork. The official artwork, in fact, also included Tails. The figure, though, admits Tails, but we will see him in just a few moments, right after Ice Hockey Eggman. Eggman is also in the set, but he's in full ice hockey gear. This is a wonderful figure. They could have so easily just given us a standard Eggman, but instead they decided to do something which has never been done before. And yes, this too is based off official artwork. But look at the detail on this figure. It's so impressive. His eyes, mustache, his hat, the logo on the shirt, and even the blade of the ice skate is still visible. Definitely one of the top figures in this set, but also not the last ice-themed figure. Skiing Sonic is another snow sports themed figure, and as with the others shown so far, is a really good depiction of the character. Sonic just looks so happy skiing, and the fact they've included some snow goggles is a really nice touch. But he's not the only one to get some snow goggles. Say hello to Snowboarding Knuckles. Knuckles also gets a figure in this set, and it's a really unique one. He's atop a snowboard, and also has some snow goggles on his head, and the smile on his face makes it look like he's really enjoying himself. Some of you out there might be thinking, that figure looks really familiar. Well, that's because it was used last year on the 2019 Sonic Christmas jumper. So it's not based on Sonic Riders in case you were wondering that, but it does look a lot like the designs used in that game. But now we move on to what might be the most unique figure in the set. Dr. Eggman as a snowman. This is simply amazing. It's an Eggman snowman. You can tell it's Dr. Eggman because of the blue eyeglasses and part of his mustache is showing through the snow. And they've also given him a scarf and a top hat, which is most dapper. Now I'm certain that there is official artwork out there depicting the Eggman snowman, but try as I might, I just can't find it. If anybody else knows where I can find it, please link to it in the comments. I just love this. It's such a unique and original idea. Can anybody out there name me another figure or piece of merch that comes even close to being this unique? Anyway, let's move on to the final three figures. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, these figures differ from the others shown in that they don't stand up but instead lay down. But that said, they're not any less impressive. First up is Tails, laid in the snow, trying to make a snow angel. Unfortunately, this figure hasn't turned out as well as the others. It's one of the weakest figures in the set. It's based on this official artwork. Unfortunately, most of the detail has been lost on the figure. Whilst the green jacket is still there, it's not turned out so well, and he has a few issues around his face, but you can still make out his little blue scarf, so they have tried. Sonic, on the other hand, looks great. It's again based on some official artwork, but this time they've really nailed the figure. You can clearly see the yellow jacket and the green scarf. And unlike the Tails figure, Sonic has actually succeeded in making his snow angel. His expression is also fine, but I think the best figure in this smaller set goes to Amy. Look at this! Amy in her winter outfit. This is a very rare sight. I know this design was used in Sonic Mania Adventures, but the figure is slightly different to that one. I want to say that there has been a design based on this figure out there somewhere, but regardless, Amy in her green winter outfit is a very rare sight. Most of the time she's actually given a red Santa outfit, like this one, instead of a winter dress. For Amy collectors, this is definitely a must-have item. I mean, where else can you get a figure of Amy based on this design? So guys, that's the entire collection, and what a set of figures it is. Whilst it was released a little early, this is one hell of a way to start Sonic's 30th anniversary. Why did it get released so early? I reckon it's due to there being so many seasonal themed characters in this, and they wanted to catch the seasonal market. I absolutely love these. If you saw my last video on Sonic themed Halloween items, and a lot of my other Sonic merch reviews, you know by now that I always give high praise when a company doesn't release another plain old Sonic figure or the same figures with just some new accessories. Releasing figures based on unique designs or poses will always be more interesting and intriguing, even if the quality is a little bit lower than normal. We've had so many standard designs or approved poses that we finally got something which is a huge breath of fresh air, and it came from a company that specialises in making figures that sit on top of birthday and wedding cakes. I definitely recommend these if you've not picked them up yet. They're a wonderful set and a great way to kick off Sonic's 30th. Now let's hope that a larger toy company out there takes note and follows suit. I want my Dracula Sonic themed action figure, damn it. Anyway guys, that's my thoughts on these figures. Please tell me which is your favourite figure from the set. Let me know in the comments. And you know how it goes by now. If you like these figures, please reply with "I want these in my house." Or if you have any other thoughts regarding these figures, please let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious to find out what others think about this particular figure set. Don't forget to leave a like and click that subscribe and bell notification button so we can show more people cool stuff like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next time.